Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to the FCS Football channel. And today we have got a match preview for you guys for, of course, Manchester United versus Brentford in the Premier League this weekend. Now, unfortunately, I will not be doing a watch along for this game as I'm just busy out with family and stuff. So, fortunately, there is no watch along. However, that is kickoff. If I can find if any of my mates are doing watch-alongs, whatever, I might put a link down in the description down below. But don't hold me to that. I'm not 100% sure. But that aside, let's get into the preview. And where does Manchester United sit in the table coming into this game? Well, we're not doing great, are we? We currently sit all the way down in 11th, having lost our last game 2-1 against Brighton and Hove Albion in a game which we didn't actually score in, did we? Pascal Gross scoring twice for Brighton and Alexis McAllister scoring an own goal to give Manchester United their one goal. And it was a game which United just weren't good enough. We were very, very poor. And look, we've said it for a long, long time, but what needs to happen at this football club? What kind of deals need to happen? And I think, again, that game proved that. In midfield, we were second best, and Brighton made their dominance in that midfield area show. They were absolutely fantastic in that midfield, and that's why we lost that game, realistically. Yes, we had chances, and yes, people like David De Gea have to take responsibility because De Gea on the day wasn't good enough. But I think you look at that midfield, I think, to me, that midfield will always be the biggest problem. Why De Gea isn't a modern day keeper? If you have control of the midfield, you can dominate a midfield. Your goalkeeper doesn't need to have loads of the ball. Doesn't need to be involved. But when you can't control a midfield against Brighton, when you can't control a midfield against anyone, that's when your goalkeeper gets busy. That's when you need your goalkeeper to start being outstanding. And we know David De Gea isn't that modern day goalkeeper. So straight away, we're going to have issues, aren't we? But look, it's just one of those where we kind of have to grin and bear it for now and hope we can get the signings in that Manchester United need. In the likes of an Adrien Rabiot, looks like he's going to come in. Hopefully a Frankie de Jong, and then one or two maybe other players as well. But for now, it's kind of we'll have to do with what we've got. If we move over into team news, for Brentford, there were about a few players in Mikael Damsgaard, who obviously just signed for them from Sampdoria. He's not going to be available. Just simply, it hasn't really, isn't match fit for him. He just isn't ready. Obviously, new signings take a bit of time to settle in, and he just hasn't had that yet. So Damsgaard, luckily, unfortunately for us, isn't available. Sergi Canos and Christopher Ager are both missing for Brentford in terms, thanks to hamstring issues. Now, when it comes to Brentford, they could play a 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3. At the start of this season, at the back end of last season, they were playing a 4-3-3. So that's kind of the formation and the system I expect them to continue with this season. Brentford are best when they play a 4-3-3. So I don't see why that would be different today. They are good on the ball and off the ball. They're well drilled. They will play kind of a counter-attacking style against us, because teams know that with the ball, Manchester United aren't as effective as when we are counter-attacking. So Brentford will defend well and kind of counter-attack. But that being said, they are very, very good on the ball. And when they have the ball, they're not a team where you can just let them pass it around, because they will create spaces. They will find and create gaps, and they will make you pay for them. Especially the key man for them today, Ivan Toney, an absolutely fantastic goal scorer. His all-round game is fantastic, Ivan Toney. It really, really is. He can hold the ball up. He can play those 1-2 passes. He can do it all, really. I really, really like Ivan Toney. I've liked him for years. He used to play for Peterborough United in the League One, And even when he was playing in League One, I was saying he could play in the Premier League. I didn't know to what specific standard he could play in the Premier League, but I knew he could play in the Premier League. And I'm going to be honest, at this point, given especially what he was doing at the back end of last season, he could be playing for Everton's or West Ham's or the teams that supposedly want to be kind of going for that Europa Conference League spot. Could even, like, if Arsenal, for example, didn't get Gabriel Jesus, I would say go get Ivan Toney. Like, I really do think Ivan Toney is that good. And United need to be kind of wary of him, because if you let Ivan Toney play his game, get at you, get chances, he will score goals. When it comes to Manchester United, we are missing 2 players. So Anthony Martial is still out with a hamstring issue. Unfortunately, obviously he got injured just before the Brighton game, so he's out. And Victor Lindelof is also missing. I'm not sure why Lindelof is out, and I couldn't find anything online. But he wasn't available for the Brighton game. And in his press conference today, Erik ten Hag said Lindelof is also still unavailable. So I'm not sure why Lindelof's unavailable, but he is alongside Anthony Martial. And let me quickly check. No. Still, I've just got a notification from the Man United app, and it doesn't say why. So, with those 2 players guaranteed to be missing out, what team do I think Erik ten Hag will be running today? Well, I think it's going to be this. So, I think it's going to be David De Gea in goal. Look, for all his flaws, he is our number 1 goalkeeper. That's pretty clear. Is Tom Heaton a better goalkeeper than David De Gea? I'd argue not. So, De Gea will keep in despite all his flaws. Diego Dalot, Rafael Varane, Lisandro Martinez and Tyrell Malacia would be the back 4 I imagine Ralph Ragnick might go with. No, Ten Hag, sorry. Harry Maguire could easily be part of that. I just have it in me that Rafael Varane might start in this game alongside Lisandro Martinez, and kind of see how well they get on together at kind of almost trying to protect David De Gea. I then think we will see Fred in a midfield 3 alongside Christian Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes. Now, of course, against Brighton, what we did see at the end of the game is Christian Eriksen drop into that number 6 role with Bruno and Donny van der Beek playing as 2 more advanced 8s. I do think we'll see a similar system, but I imagine he'll probably stick with Fred in that 6 role and allow Christian Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes to be them more 2 advanced 8s pushing forward, with a front 3 of Marcus Rashford on the left. In his press conference today, Erik ten Hag spoke about Marcus Rashford and how he's not up for sale, how he's happy with Rashford and is looking forward to working with him. So I don't see why he would drop him. Jadon Sancho will almost certainly start. If Rashford's on the left, that means Jadon Sancho will have to be on the right. Sancho, I think, throughout pre-season, one of our star players. Against Brighton, I thought he was one of our better players. We just need to get round him more. And I think this lineup will help to get the best out of Sancho. Sancho isn't necessarily someone that wants to get the ball and run at someone all the time, like maybe a Rashford does, like a Dan James used to. Jadon Sancho is a player that can do that, but at the same time likes to play that quick interchanging passing. And then when you get one-on-one with someone, then he can try and beat him. He doesn't want to try and beat 3 or 4 players. He wants that quick passing. And I think with Dalot, with Bruno, with Eriksen, he can do that. And when you have someone like Cristiano Ronaldo who's going to be up top, and I think he made a big impact when he came on against Brighton, not just because of how he played, but he did play really, really well, but because it then allows you to get more creative and better ball players in that midfield. Ronaldo came on, obviously that meant Christian Eriksen could drop into midfield rather than playing that false 9. Meaning we have better passes in the midfield, gave us greater control in the midfield, and allowed us to see the best out of someone like a Jadon Sancho, who for the majority of that game, weren't at his best. But as soon as those changes came, we saw Jadon Sancho really kind of come to the forefront and really be closer to his best. Hold on, I need to get something. Stick that there. And when it comes to my team, there we go. This is the team I've gone for. So, David De Gea in goal. Like I said, it's the same back three. Look, I don't think Luke Shaw was awful against Brighton, but he wasn't at his best, I would say. And maybe give Tyrell Malacia a go. I thought Malacia was very impressive in pre-season. And I remember Crystal Palace specifically, Diego Dalot and Tyrell Malacia had both fantastic games. And you look back to that Martial goal, both fullbacks put crosses in using their weaker foot. That's something Luke Shaw doesn't really have in his locker. And I just kind of like to see how Tyrell Malacia could get on at left back. And, you know, like, if it doesn't work out, you've got Luke Shaw on the bench. Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane centre back, similarly to what I said about Ten Hag. I just think those two long term might be a better fit and partnership than Harry Maguire and Martinez, but that's something we'll just have to kind of wait and find out. Now, that midfield three, a lot of you will be surprised. Why am I playing Christian Eriksen at number 6? You're going to think I'm crazy. But when he came on there, when he went moved there in that second half against Brighton, we gained a lot of control in that midfield. Surprisingly, we did. And defensively, maybe not as strong, but I think in general, you gain a bit more control. Midfield-wise, you're going to be better technically. I look at someone like a Donny van der Beek. He can do the work backwards and forwards. I think Eriksen can as well. Maybe not in the same way as a Donny van der Beek. I think Donny van der Beek is certainly better defensively, but Eriksen can do that job. And I think when you have someone like a Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez, it allows you to play so much higher up that Brentford will be just looking for them balls in behind. So, in a sense, you don't have to expect as much defensive work from a Christian Eriksen. Plus, given it's a game that we expect to dominate, expect to have 60, 70% of the ball, I think you can afford to kind of have three more creative-minded, free players that are more willing to, more want to get on the ball and move the ball around really well. And again, I think that just allows someone like a Jadon Sancho to have more creative freedom. And we're going to see then the best of Jadon Sancho when he's got players around him who will look to play how he wants to play. And if we get all of that, then Manchester United can and should win this game. Look, all that being said, this isn't going to be an easy game. And that goes without saying. Brentford are a good team. And while they're not going to be at the heights they were at the end of last season, they are still good. They are still a solid team. And if we're not at our best or close to, they will cause issues and they could easily beat us. United are a team that can win a game 3-0 or lose a game 3-0. And we all know that. And I don't think that comes as any surprise, me saying that. Do I think we should win it? And I think we will. And do I think we will win it? Yes. For those of you who watched my Premier League preview earlier, you'll know what I predict for this game. I do think we're going to win 2-0. I think you look at either of those sides, there is too much quality there for Manchester United not to win this game. I think we are missing 2 players in Lindelof and Martial, but would they necessarily be starters? Martial aside, no. And even Martial, there's no guarantees he starts over Cristiano Ronaldo. I just imagine he would have, given pre-season. But we don't know. But I'm looking forward to this game. Like I said, I do think we will win 2-0. But at the same time, if we do lose 3-0, I'm not going to be surprised whatsoever. Because that's just Manchester United at the end of the day, isn't it? We're so inconsistent. But, yeah, that's going to be it. If you guys have enjoyed, please do hit that like button below and subscribe if you are new and you haven't already. That would be greatly appreciated. Let me know in the comments down below what your prediction is for this game. Do you think United will win? Do you think United will lose? And maybe even throw out your starting lineup for this game. Anyway, like I said, thank you all for watching. And I'll see you all in the next one in a bit. Peace.